Good evening, guys, and welcome to the Purple Mic. I'm Erica, your host, and
Oh,
I'm
I'm
joined
sorry.
tonight by
Hey.
Ben, Jolon, Lashana, Jessica, Tony, and Lewis. How are you guys doing tonight?
Fabulous.
Here to get down with the get down.
You left me out.
No, I
Because you're part of the get
Oh, I'm
down.
sorry. I didn't hear it.
How are you
I'm
doing,
sorry.
Ben?
I didn't hear it.
Huh?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, well, I didn't hear it. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Tonight is the season finale. We have been through 12 episodes, and we started back July 17th. It's been an amazing summer. Now we're hitting fall and winter, and I'm so excited. We talked about the other side of the
I
game.
think people with shady behavior, it'll come out eventually.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
You always answering the phone in the corner. You know, you always got to step outside to take a phone call.
Yeah.
You know, closing the computer when I come in there. Like, you'll see.
Phone upside down.
Right. Phone upside down. You know, you always using cash. Like, come on now.
You went straight antiquated with that thing. You said,
Oh.
y'all was using cash.
You got
Hey,
big
look.
knots in your pocket. You flipping. Come on, girl.
Right. Come on now. You gonna know something ain't right.
In this episode, you guys will see a lot of features from all of the past episodes, some comical moments, some serious. And tonight we're going to kind of go back in summation and kind of talk about different subjects along the lines of these episodes. Episode 12 was Cuddy Buddies. That was an interesting conversation with Ben, Kate, Lewis, and myself.
The second you're on my nerves, like, especially if you're a whatever, like, I've had one whatever, and I learned you don't want to be my whatever. Like, I am not nice. You have no patience when it comes to dealing with me. You get none. So the second you don't act right and you do something just stupid, like, just be regular is all I'd ask. He got on my nerves, like, cool, you gotta go home. I just got here from Brooklyn. You gotta go home. You have to
Damn.
go home. Like,
How brutal.
it took me an hour, cool. Plenty of time for you to listen to some good music on the way back. Like, I don't have the patience. It ruins it for me. I don't care how good it's like, no, you're stupid. You're on my nerves. Like, I don't.
Man, y'all kicking brothers out butt naked. Y'all sending brothers back to New York off. We just got the plane. Lord have mercy. Y'all some savages, bro.
Burrow, you go. Bye.
Ben and I did an episode together called The S Word and the Four Elements. That was a very intimate conversation.
It's nothing for me. Like, one of the biggest ego strokes for me, it's a certain way a woman smiles at you or looks at you when, like, if you know, and this is like a woman that don't know you. Like, when you first meet somebody and you can hear in her head say, "Oh, he fine." It's a certain way y'all look at us a smile. Like, that happened to me the other day in this group. I was getting my food. She was like, "Oh, here you go," and she gave me that smile. I was like, it just lifted me up. So I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I still got it." You know what I'm saying? I popped my collar a little bit. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I bonds on her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dating purgatory and how the pandemic has changed the dating game.
So,
I'ma leave the door open.
my dude.
I'm just gonna leave the door open. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Yeah, we're at the age where it's like we're not joking anymore. Listen, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. You want to join me?
Thank you.
Real simple.
All jokes aside, you know what I'm saying? Like, not the comedy club of life.
Right there. Straight to the point. You know, stop playing games and just say what it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't understand what the benefit is of these games, and like, what does it profit you at the end of the day? You're still empty and lonely.
If you watch episode 15, you got to see all of us go up to the cabin. We had an amazing trip, and we had Chef Jamal whipping it up in the kitchen. Of course, lots of laughter there. Jessica was the highlight, as well as Ben and Jessica.
I'm creeping up. I'm starting.
It's sick.
Thick.
Rich song, mini rock. my people.
Yeah, see, you know what? And you know what? That's the thing.
Disrespecting respectfully happens to be my favorite episode. Love that episode. We got down and dirty.
I wonder why.
Well, I mean, we the people. I'm
that
gonna
tonight.
keep saying it.
We the people. Yeah, that was the catchphrase.
Now, I know for myself, when I am in a relationship, I am very much in tune with what he needs. You know, I want his house to be clean. I want him to come home in peace. I'm not the type of woman to run up to the door like, oh my gosh, how was your day? You know, like, I'm going to be gone probably doing my whole spa treatment in the bathroom so he can come in his house and be in complete peace. If we have children, they're bathed, dinner's ready, we're ready to sit down, they're going to bed, you're going to have your hour or whatever time you need in your man cave, and then I'll be upstairs waiting for you. That's the baby.
Right now.
Perfect plan.
Like, what?
It sounds like an agenda. Like, I don't need that.
It's not necessarily an agenda. It's structure so that is in peace all the time. And that's just an example. It's not to say that, I mean, everybody at 8:05, that's the way it's going to be. But, I mean, our focal point is a man. Like, one man. We're not looking at this man, that man. Sure, you can watch a basketball game. Y'all know who my favorite basketball player is. But, I mean, I'm not looking at him inappropriately.
You want to name him too?
You know what? I'm not doing names.
I know who he is. I know who he is.
I'm not telling him because I'm not giving him no ammo right now.
Bruh, it's Serge Ibaka, bruh. It's Serge Ibaka. That's what she like. She like Serge Ibaka.
Oh, okay. The ratted you out. Okay.
You following him on IG right now?
Yes, I do.
You following Chestnut on IG right now? Because I'm not even following me alone.
The phrase it pays.
The fruits. We talked about ancestry, and that was a very, very, very good conversation. Ben, you were the star of the night in that conversation as you brought forward a lot of literature and a lot of history at the same time. So we thank you so much. One of our best episodes, surprisingly, was marriage, saying I do and meaning I do. That was a really beautiful discussion. Jolon came on all in white, ready for the night.
I think, loyalty, honesty, communication. You got to support each other. Reciprocity, trust, respect, positivity, consistency, passion, compassion, affection, appreciation, admiration, focus, confidence, authenticity, tranquility, harmony, bliss. I mean, it's a bunch of different things. Like, you got to have a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I wrote a love manual for my woman, so she'll know. So she gonna come. She can already have it. Okay, this is what page 3. Baby, reference page 3 real quick. You know what I'm saying? You'll know that.
Jolon, I'm loving you in that white tonight.
Well,
hey,
marriage.
That hot cocoa.
We're white.
Trying to serve somebody else some of that hot cocoa.
This little hot cocoa. Hot cocoa with cup no tea.
Hey. So now it's tea.
And we introduced our new panelist, Jessica, in our first part of sexology and libido.
I can see not being in the mood because maybe you had a really bad day at work, you lost a friend or something like that. That's much different than not being in the mood because you're in a different headspace. Like, you just need time. But I'm just saying, like, if you guys are good together and you guys are feeling each other, and me personally, I rarely turn down sex. I'm going to be, because again, we're in that space. That's the kind of relationships I like to be in. I'm very picky about my relationships because I have to feel that before we get there. So I already know what it's going to be. But yeah, I rarely turn down sex because I'm feeling you. Like, we are already at that point. So yeah, I don't know. I've always had that question about why women, may turn down sex. I mean, I can understand being tired and, just don't want to do it, but
that was the icebreaker to part 2, which brought in Lashana and Tony.
There's one that's called Hitachi. Yeah, don't get that one. Don't get that one. That one will ruin your life.
Can you spell Hitachi so I know?
Hey, like, ask me for a friend.
Please. I would just definitely have to say, if you ain't never squirted before in your life, you will. If you've never had
on my phone
a
right
full
now
body,
searching for that.
if you've never had a full body orgasm, you will. That is one of the most high-powered ones, you know.
And part 3, where we concluded last week.
I have a question.
Oh Lord, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Justin.
I'm sure that you guys have, been with, black women. Obviously, we got our hair situation. So, in the morning, a couple of us got a little nightcap on.
Facts.
Literal nightcap.
How do y'all feel about that?
Don't nobody give a damn about that nightcap.
At all.
Look, let me tell you. Cause see, I'm
it could be like this. Pull that to the side, yo. Pull
that is collateral damage.
Look, 9 times out of 10, I'm pulling that off anyway because I'm pulling hair. So I'm pulling hair. So.
Was episode 9. Lewis was talking about we gonna help you wrap that thing.
Oh, wrap the hair. Yep. He was like,
Yeah.
That's good. That's what Cat Williams said. He said he don't care. I got silk. He's like, I'll skip her about. I got a silk.
So, I am so happy. I've had
opening up y'all divots. I hope.
My divots are lotion. I've been oiling
Good.
my divots since we had that conversation.
Right.
So I want to take it back just real briefly, and I know a lot of us weren't in a lot of these conversations, but kind of going back to the subjects of the other side of the game, we talked about game in general. Ben, that evening when we talked about game, what did you actually take from the conversation?
I guess one of my major takeaways was that everybody looks at the game differently. Everybody defines the game differently. We were some of us are defining game more so as, I guess, from a negative connotation, whereas it's like from this kind of manipulative kind of perspective, while others are looking at it more kind of a general sense, whereas it can be somewhat competitive, but an enjoyable, even like complimentary type of event. So you have to know how you define the game with whomever you're playing the game with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jolon, moving over to our Cuddy Buddies conversation, what was your takeaway from that conversation?
Definitely not. I'm not doing that. If you're not in a relationship,
but it's winter time.
No, I don't care. You can get a throw rug. You can get a heated blanket. There's all kinds of things. You can get a poof ottoman.
Except
warm them bad boys up.
Chest.
I'm telling you, but we can cut we ain't cutting. Okay.
It's not like warm arms and warm chest. I'm just saying.
As long as it's shaved, then no taco meat.
A heated body pillow, that'll work.
Wow.
As we move over to the S word and the 4 elements, again, that was the intimate conversation with Ben and myself. I really enjoyed that conversation. You introduced a lot of information and material that night. The physical, the mental, the spiritual, the emotional. And that is often a conversation that I go back to because we were very transparent in that conversation in terms of spirituality. So that was a favorite. Lewis, dating purgatory. As we go back through that episode, what was your thoughts on that episode?
That was so long ago. I'm trying to remember. We know a lot of relationships were on notice and exposed because of, you finally have people who were, thought they were in a relationship but living together, really didn't know that person. Now you really know them. But even marriages, because, when you spend so much time out the house with the kids, you start to realize what life is really about and having a family. Some just don't want it anymore, which is a sad thing.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there were a lot of different just broken relationships and stuff like that just really got exposed.
Well, as we move over to our cabin trip, episode 15, Jessica, what was it like coming in with this house full of strangers you never met? Ben knocks on the door. You don't know him.
Nope.
You don't answer.
Well, first off, maybe I didn't get the memo. I didn't even know they were coming. So, he just shows up at the door holding stuff like he's supposed to be here. And I'm like, I peek out. I'm like, I don't know you. and I just kind of roll right back. Like, you might be at the
Just
wrong
let that man
cabin.
standing out there.
Right? Just like, what are you doing? I'm like,
hello. I'm not a stalker. I didn't come all the way to the mountain to stalk you.
I open the door and I'm looking. I'm like, Erica's.
He with you? Like, who that
is he with you? Anything? But that was an amazing trip. It turned out to be a lot of fun. Everyone I met was amazing. The food.
Yes, I wish Chef was here tonight.
Jamal did amazing.
Yes.
Book another trip. Do
Big
what you need to
facts.
do.
Big facts.
Yeah. That was a really good trip. Very good trip.
Was. And we all really genuinely enjoyed one another. Jolon, disrespecting respectfully. We went in that night.
Oh,
and we
did.
were
We
talking
stood our
about
ground,
what
too.
we will not tolerate in a relationship. It was a lot of neck
They kept
throwing.
trying to get us to bend, and we were like, no, we're not. We are standing here, we the people. We are going to stand firm on what we believe to be right. And I feel like we definitely stood our ground, and it is what it is. I feel like disrespecting respectfully can go left really quickly if you don't put the reins on it, you know, because people will take an inch and turn it into 1,000 miles. And, you know, the journey, what is the Chinese proverb? Journey of a 1,000 miles starts with one step.
Begins with a
Yeah,
step. Mm-hmm.
they're going to keep stepping, and I ain't having that. Going to step backwards out of my life. That mess. Bye.
Give him an inch, take a mile.
I think a big thing that take away from that was also that everybody defines respect and disrespect differently too. You know what I'm saying? So whereas y'all feel like certain things were disrespectful, you know, the brothers thought a little differently. So, you know, we always just have to come to the same definition and come up with that.
Thank you, Jessica. I'm with you on that.
With me.
Oh, I already know you because you was ready. That you was in battle position, battle pose the whole night.
Right.
The whole night.
That's actually my favorite. Roots to the fruits, Lewis, ancestry. I know you were talking about ancestry as we started the night tonight.
I know we even, and you know, this is what I think last time we had that conversation, I was looking at and kind of the whole history, because we got into that too, and how sometimes, like I really would like to know, because I'm gonna really try. I still haven't done it yet, but I really would like to know where I come from. Now, as I get to know more, it's like it can continue to go on because you don't know where you really come from, you know, per se, and it could be a mixture of someone who came from, and it's like weird because I know, as far as I know, my great great grandmother was Polish.
Oh wow!
Wow.
And my father was, and my great great uncle, he was black. But he was a different, I don't know. That's why it's weird. And I know, talking about that ancestry stuff, I think it's important that you know, at least as far back as you can, because if you don't tell your story, because we're history. I believe we're history right now for our kids to come.
Yeah.
The stuff that we're going to say is what they're going to believe to validate what they see. And I think we should tell the story. I can no longer tell I really can't tell the American story because I really don't even know, like the roots and the whole information about everything. So it's weird.
Ben, did you say you did the ancestry box?
Yeah.
Like the test?
I did not.
You did not?
No, I did not. I'm like I've studied phenotypes. And so I kind of did some of that, and then I have, just some things that I've researched. But yeah, I've not done the actual official one, only because one of the bigger ones, I think they actually have the rights to your DNA. Once you give it to them, they actually hold the rights to your DNA. So yeah, I'm not for, what I'm saying, nobody being able to clone me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
More Bens in the world. That's what we need.
Yeah.
That's actually a good thing. A very good.
Jessica, it's okay.
You okay, Jessica? You all right? You okay?
Are you okay? You gonna make it?
Onyx walked by you something? You okay? Onyx?
I'm sorry.
Onyx,
Somebody
okay?
said something that just...
Yeah, Onyx walked by you. Got little got the tongue, the fur ball or something, the fur ball or something.
Your foot.
Yeah, that.
You need lotion. You div it up a little bit more or something.
Oh God. Marriage and saying I do and meaning I do was also an intimate conversation with Ben, Jolon, and myself. That was an amazing night. We talked about what we want as we move forward in life and we are intentional in our journeys. Jolon, what did you take from that conversation?
Taking the vow seriously, like knowing what you're walking into before you decide to say I do. It's like I was watching a segment on Steve Harvey. He didn't say I'll try, he said I will do. It's actually making it happen to this other person that you vow to spend the rest of your life with, and promising and making sure that you uphold that promise and not just saying it with your like lip service, but putting your action behind it. And it can be a beautiful thing if you take it seriously and work at it and work towards, the common goal with each other as far as like happiness in that journey.
Yeah, same for me. It was just really good to kind of just talk through, especially having come through, several relationships myself in that regard, and have not been successful in the past too. But I guess it's just good to know that people really are trying to do that for real, and not just like I said, not being out here playing around. Exactly. So yeah, I'm for it. It's got to be, like I always say, man, I got to be worthy and ready, and find somebody that is also worthy and ready for me.
Yeah, and I feel like for myself, it's more of a soul thing. Like when I feel something set off in me, and it's like, that's him.
Right.
And that's when I'll know. Our first part of Sexology and Libido, Jessica joined us, and it was a very, very, I think that night we were more looking for that icebreaker because we were talking about sex. And we were waiting to get to this moment. I'm not gonna lie, I was waiting to get to this moment. Jessica, how did you feel coming on to the panel for your very first episode and it being about sex?
It was, I guess because I know some of y'all. Then we met at the cabin. Jolon's my sister. Erica, we've known each other for years. I felt very comfortable. To me, sex is something that we should always be talking about. Not necessarily to be like raunchy or, just, I did this and I did that, but just so you can grow with yourself and understand how people work and, what likes and dislikes and things like that. I think that people should be talking about it more so you can learn a lot about yourself in that conversation. And I learned a lot about myself in that conversation that we had. And, moving into the second and the third one, it was like, this is interesting. I've never heard that, Lashana.
Yeah, which is a great segue because part 2 was the introduction of Tony and Lashana. Lashana, I'll start with you. How did it feel coming in, educating your entire panel on so many topics?
It felt really good. I loved it. It was very easy for me to talk to you guys because I'm very comfortable with my sexuality. So it was very easy to talk to you guys about it. What got me the most was the questions that you guys had after the fact.
Yes.
I was like, what is the name of that? What? So, and it was good to educate you guys on that type of lifestyle because people do live it. So I was very excited and coming in and learning things. I also learned some things too. Well, I was there giving you guys information. So I did. My first one was good. I was a little nervous, but you guys made me feel very comfortable.
We're so honored to have you. Welcome to Purple Mic, and we're looking forward to an amazing season 3 with you. So much planned. Mr. Junior Hokenstrip, Tony Johnson. How has it been for you coming on to part 2 and introducing us to the anatomy? Sex and libido. How was that?
I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
You walked right in though.
And to come in at the point where we were talking about sex, and hey, I'm a fool. I like to laugh, and I learned a lot of things, and I learned some terminology from the professor. But still, at the same point, you can I came in and I brought a different perspective, I think, to the whole group, and we can laugh and we can joke and and still keep it educational. So it's been fun so far.
Yeah, and we appreciate you for the banter. I know a lot of times I'm really huge on feedback, and as the audience watches either tonight or Thursday evening, we encourage you to always chime in and give us your feedback, because we listen to everything that you tell us. And a lot of people have said that, Tony, you brought the heat, you brought the fire, and Lashana, same thing for you. They appreciate your transparency. So to all of you guys, thank you, because I know being vulnerable and talking about even your personal lives and not strictly standing data and statistics, that is bold and it's fierce, and I love you guys for that, because you guys are so real and raw. So thank you. Last week we did part 3.
Yeah.
I think that was the fire. So I want to extend my gratitude to all of you guys for such an amazing season tonight. We're going to talk about a couple of things. One viewer wrote me and had an interesting question last Friday for Ben, Lashana, and Jessica. They wrote, is there a way to purchase your erotica publications mentioned in the Sexology and Libido series? And also, how do you guys come up with the material, and do you want to create new material?
Hey. Well,
in the building.
Sounds like a publishing company just got started.
Speak on it.
I guess for myself, I don't really write for other people yet. I guess I might be doing that now. I didn't even think that was possible. I started writing to get a lot of my thoughts out of my head. Whether it was sexual or just, anything that was going on in my life. So, if there was a hard time going on, it may have been a book that was a little bit darker. If I was in a happy period, it may be like this blooming romance and, all of that stuff. So I'm not writing for the public right now. I have a bunch of stuff. I may be thinking about it, and if it ever happens, I'll let you know.
Nice. Okay.
Lashana? Actually, I was thinking about publishing a couple other pieces that I wrote. There's this app that's called Wattpad. It's WATTPAD. You can actually post your things there. That's where I actually fell in love with immature authors who write and how they build their stories. So I was thinking of posting a couple things on there. They do short stories, and you can go on there and post what you have, and then of course you can go back and then add stories. And as people continue to read, it'll let you know, like, hey, they've added a new chapter to this particular book. So I do have that app, and so I was like, maybe I should. My daughter was like, you should, because she has read some of my things. So just to get her feedback, because she's a Gen Z, just trying to see what they, what's out there and what they like and what they don't like, because I know what millennials like. But that other generation, right? But that other generation is very much so something that we don't really know too much about sometimes. And because I do have a Gen Z, too, she does, kind of give me the feedback that I need. So I have thought about, adding my books there, or even thinking about publishing something. So, yes.
It's amazing, because you can think future forward.
Can your first book be an encyclopedia of terminology?
Thank you.
It depends on what type of terminology that you're looking for.
I think you need to start from the beginning. Start from the beginning and work your way up to the just absolutely ignorant and insane stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a terminology for all of that ignorant and insane stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So I think you need to start with A and work your way to double A.
Oh, A for like A asphyxiation? Yeah, I think so. You might right.
Work whatever you can think of, whatever's out there. I think you need to go ahead and put that together, because there's some terminology that I don't think anybody's ever heard of. You threw some stuff out there. I didn't even know it went that deep.
Oh, like what?
because when you were talking about the subs and whatnot, I had heard about that little community, but when you started really breaking it down, I was like, damn, that's deep. They getting married and behind all of this. I thought this was just for play. You know?
Well, it can be
real.
It can be. Yeah, it can be, because it can technically be a kink. So a kink is just something that you just like to do. That's a sexual preference that you have. So like, if you guys love smells, that's a kink. If you like the sound of someone, or like the feel of someone touching you, that's a kink. So sometimes you can have somebody that lives the lifestyle, and then you have someone who just likes it as a kink. So that's just something that they do sexually in the bedroom. So technically, everybody has a kink. Everybody on the panel.
That is true. That is true.
So
everybody does have one.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So that's all
or
it
more.
Is. Or more,
Or 12.
I would put say kinks, put an S on it.
Plural.
So everybody has a fetish or something, or a kink, or anything that they like. But yeah, because Tony, you have a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll move over to Ben. Ben, what about you and your publications? Do you have anything new?
So I was gonna reveal this, but I guess I might as well. Lashana and I actually worked on the piece recently. We finished it actually, and I sent it to Erica. I'm not sure if Erica's read it yet, but I did send it to. So that was the most recent.
It is amazing.
That was the most recent thing.
Very amazing.
Yeah. So
Too
Lashana and I were working on the piece.
Sorry.
So I worked on. So that was the most recent thing I've done. I've done some couple of things. I actually took like a long hiatus from writing. I was writing a lot, like maybe about 5 years ago before I got married, and then once I got married, I took a long hiatus. Most of my stuff I was doing like on Facebook. I had like a nice little Facebook following. Like I would publish. Publish like maybe on Facebook. That is like once every like 3 weeks or so. And so some of the stuff is like serious. Well, they're in my notes. Well, yeah, they're in my notes. But Facebook doesn't do notes anymore for whatever reason. So I think they're still up, but I have them in my computer and stuff like that. So long story short, to everyone else's point, I have thought about publishing. You know what I'm saying? But I probably have to do like a pen name type deal because my other business is related to like children and stuff like that. So. That might be something cool. Like maybe Lashana and Jessica and I can talk through it, and maybe we can like collaborate and But yeah, definitely. Maybe work on a piece together, or
like some seed money. I can be a silent investor.
Right.
That sounds fun. Yeah. I think that would be a good idea for all three of us.
And I know a great editor. So got y'all.
Look at it. It's off and running already.
Yeah, we can talk through it. Yeah, definitely.
So we've all grown. I know season 1, season 2, we all came into the Purple Mic with our own stories. Some of us, we've been dealing with a lot personally. As you think about your personal lives and what your why is in coming to Purple Mic, what has helped you to get to where you are at this point in your journey? And what advice would you have for others who want to follow in the same and similar direction? Lewis, I'll start with you.
Who wants to start? Lewis, I'll start. Lord have mercy.
Yep.
For me, when Erica, I'm not sure how long it's been, but she kind of dropped the seed to me a long time ago, and she was like, "Would you be interested?" And I was like, "All right, sure." And we just kind of left it at that. She said, "Just be ready." But in the meantime, that's when I really started Men Love and Right. And most people don't understand what Men Love and Right is on Instagram. It's not only just relationship among men and women. It's relationship among the family, among your friends, with your God. And basically that's what it is. As I continue to get more material, and that's why I do things like this as well, because each one of you have an experience that I think the rest of the world have experienced before. And we're saying it out loud where some people may not say it, but they will love to hear it, to know that somebody else has been through something like them. And I think we shed that knowledge to the world. We got, followers that we never had from day one. We got people who are now, and at the same time, it's not about influencing the many, right? It's about influencing, the few who have the power of their voice, that people will listen to them. And with Men Loving Right, that's what it's really about. It's about helping young men how to love women right and how to love their family right and their community and their God. And I think it will achieve better relationships, longer marriages, and just different things will work. I think when the man is really committed to his family and understand how to do it well. And so for me, getting this information, this knowledge, is good that it wasn't just us. And I was telling Erica before, if we all don't get together, still have something, because people are still learning. It's part of the episode. We all may not get together, but we all do share something that's pertinent knowledge to the world. And it's great that we broke it up this way, because it's still very informative, that we all may not have been on every episode, but someone has learned something, including us. Yeah. Someone has still learned something. So for me, that's my takeaway, is really being on a platform that's going to allow me to share some of the knowledge I know and then hear it from you.
Absolutely. And we've named you Gems. Of course, our audience knows that Gems. Jolon's like, you talked to Gems today? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we are honored, Louis, and I thank you so much for your time, because I know you have a busy schedule, and I mean, you always make time for the Purple Mic, so thank you. Moving over to Jessica, I'd like to hear your response.
I think that a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm actually a very introverted person, and talking, I know that you don't think so, but I actually am.
I was about to say, that last sound like that was a lie you told.
I can socialize with people, and I can be my big, huge self, but I have to go and hibernate for a month or two to get that energy back. And people don't know that about me. They just see me out and about, and like, oh, you're so extroverted, you talk a lot, and you're so open, and I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I go home and I'm like hiding in my hoodie, and I'm like, I don't want to see anybody for months. And so I think this is a good opportunity for me to kind of push myself a little bit more out of my comfort zone. I do enjoy socializing. I do enjoy talking to people. And I do enjoy talking to other women and men about topics that are combined, because sometimes you only have one influence. You only talk to your girls and you only get that point of view, or you're only talking to your boys and you only get that point of view. So I think it's very important that you always talk to a mixed group about certain issues, because men and women of different ages, of different backgrounds, places, those things to me are important, and it's very interesting to me to hear these things. And so I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of this platform, because I think it's important that you talk to people from different places about different things in different ages and different stages of their lives, because you get to learn so much about yourself. And I guess that's my takeaway. I want to learn more about me, and I want to grow more. And I think I'll be able to do that here.
Yes, and you've given us so much light. I saw you at the cabin, and I was like, I gotta have her on. I don't know if she's gonna do it, because I know Jessica. She is an introvert, and I was like, she's gonna say no. She's gonna say no. So I called Jolon, and I was like, what do you think Jessica will say if I ask her? She's like, I don't know, ask her. Right. I was like, okay. I hope she says yes. And I just remember texting her that morning, and she said yes, I would love to. So thank you so much for coming on, because you are a huge asset. Thank you. Tony, what has helped you to get where you are at this point in your journey with everything you've got going on, and what advice would you have for others who want to set off in a similar direction?
Honesty. I can't preach that enough when I'm out. Honesty. Be honest with yourself and know your limitations.
Yeah.
That I run with that on a regular basis. So when I'm home, I do not, and I care not to be bothered with the world. I can care less about the world. If the world comes to my door, the world's got to deal with me. But other than that, I can care less. But when I'm out, I have to be social. I run my own business, so I have to be likable. I have to be friendly, but at all times, I am honest.
Yes.
A lot of my customers call me an asshole, but I'm an honest asshole.
I can see that. I can see
So
that.
they tend to love me to death because of it, because they know I'm not lying about anything, and it's easier for me to tell the truth than to sit here and to BS people. And that's from learning from years of being in retail. I learned that a long time ago. Just be honest. Let people figure it out, no matter how dumb or stupid you think they are. But just be honest. Just be honest.
Yeah.
And that's what my mom told me. My mother told me when I was young. She said, "Speak your mind." She said, "I don't care if the person you're talking to is worth $7 or $7 million. You speak your mind, because they can't do you anything. And if they put their hands on you," she said, "you know what to do."
Oh, moms.
Okay.
I'll move over to Lashana. Lashana, what are your thoughts on this topic?
Honestly, for me, how I got this far in this journey was therapy. I go to therapy not as often as I used to. If I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed with a lot of things. Therapy was definitely my go-to, and especially to be the first one in my family to be I'm going to therapy today. I can't today. Learning how to set boundaries with
breaking generational curses too.
Yes, breaking generational curses. Especially with my children, this is why I do what I do, is because of my children. They are, they're pretty much my everything. And helping my daughter, breaking generational curses with, my family, and knowing where we come from, and seeing her being the first one to go, to college right out of high school, and things of that nature, and her just continuing on. So that will be something, therapy. And then how I got here, being able to be here, because like Jessica, I'm an introverted person. I don't. When I come home,
we ain't doing that.
Right. When I come home, I'm like, no, and even with my family, I had to explain that to them, because even though they have been a part of my life for so long, they didn't understand why I would just shut down, and I wouldn't see them for like 3 or 4 months. I was like, so you mad at us? No, I'm not. I need to go back, recharge my body. But that was something I had to learn about me, because I didn't know that. I would just be running on empty.
I think we overlook mental health.
Yeah.
Because we can't see the mind, no one can read our mind. We just ignore it. And Lewis has preached through season 1, season 2, time and time again, how important therapy is. I think if anything, that's his number one focal point, is, always staying in tune with mental health. So yeah, you're absolutely correct. I commend you.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people, they have pride when it comes to therapy. Like, I ain't doing that. No, they don't know me. So I think a lot of people in our community, they tend to shy away from it. And I think it's something that we definitely need to, put a light on. So moving up to Miss Jolon. This question is very important, as I want to ask all of you. What has helped you get to where you are at this point in your journey? What advice would you have for others who want to set off in a similar direction? You have talked about marriage, and you have talked about heartbreak, you've talked about singlehood, you've talked about parenting. You've given us so much in 22 incredible episodes, and my outpour of love for you is immense. Thank you so much for all that you give us. What is your take on this topic?
Like Jessica said, it's really it's really helped me hone in on a lot of the gray areas that I didn't know I even had going on. Because a lot of times when you go through life, you kind of sometimes set yourself on autopilot just to get through certain things. And when you really look back and realize who you are, and Jessica and I talk about this all the time, breaking down things that you did not know affected you, even from your childhood to your adolescence to your young adults, being an adult, being a parent now, dating, single, whatever status you are at whatever point in your life, has shaped you and molded you into the person that you are. So, having discussions, like she said, from both sides, talking to your girls, talking to your guy friends, or just even on a platform like this, it kind of helps, you to see the perspectives of yourself, your peers, your friends, family, male, female, whatever the case may be. And also just gathering information to apply, to not, to disagree, to just learn yourself. And that's where the magic happens. When you are, standing in your truth and standing firm on what you believe, where you're going. You have a destination point, I guess, a journey ahead of you. So you're not just aimlessly wandering through life, just trying to figure it out all the time. Now, some things, you'll have to just figure out along the way. But when you're making conscious decisions about your life, your relationships, and, where you want to be in 20 years, those things have to be, in a sense, kind of calculated, because you don't want to end up with the wrong situation, the wrong person, because you didn't do research on you and what you need and what you'll tolerate and what you'll accept. So being on a platform like this for me has just been eye-opening. It's been refreshing. It's been a barrel of laughs at times. Who I was 20 years ago is not who I am today, and learning how to take on the growth and maneuver it and put it in its proper place in your life. Talking about doing this and putting it into motion, and not just sitting on it and just saying, oh, it's a dream. But now this dream has become reality, and look at where we are now, you know, because relationships have been a lot of our topics of discussion in private. And, we as sisters know what we want and what we are, deserving in our lives. So
and coming together with men so that we can have honest conversations.
Absolutely.
Very nice. My blood pressure has gotten high.
We can get in our own heads and think like, oh my gosh, and then we don't hear from another point, and we're just like, we the people, like I said, but it is about growth as well, and maturity and learning. It's just not all about you. If you're leaning towards being in relationship. So this has definitely been a ride, and I'm gonna stay on.
Thank you. We love you.
Absolutely. Learning and meeting Ben. I met Ben a long time ago, but we've now talked more and just gotten to know each other even on a deeper level.
You the homie now.
Yeah. Meeting Lewis, he's Gems, aka Gems. Lashana, in the short period of time, we're gonna have to go out to lunch.
Lashana, we get Lashana's booked.
Yes.
I got her
first.
I think Jessica has her next either.
And Jessica, I've known her for 34 years. How old you with?
What did you just say? 35?
34 years. Getting on my nerves still, even to this day. But I love her to death, so.
To life.
To life.
What about Tony?
Oh yeah, I said Tony. I said we're going to take a trip and
Tony. He's trying to book a plane. He's trying to book a plane ticket and get out to you, so trying to come see you.
Come find you in the globe.
Moving over to Ben. What has helped you in your journey, Ben, and what advice would you have?
It's been a long journey. It's interesting that just how the universe works, because right after the dissolving of my marriage, Erica and I reconnected, and she kind of, I heard about her doing the purple mic before, but she kind of reintroduced it to me. And so when I started watching, I was like, oh, this is pretty dope. Like, it's something I want to be a part of. And it was just a really cathartic experience for me, a therapeutic experience for me, because, right out of a relationship, especially a long one, a lot of times for me personally, I kind of go into a little shell myself, like I kind of, being, like like on Boomerang when when he broke up with old girl and he was all listening to love songs, and and all stuff like that. So I kind of go into that shell. So finding this community, Erica, reconnecting with her after all these years, and like I said, meeting Jolon and and then Jessica, and then and Lou and now Tony, and then me and Lashana reconnecting because we actually live in the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of us just kind of reconnecting. It was just been a beautiful thing to help me just kind of get through my stuff. And really talking out stuff has really been really helpful, because a lot of stuff that I might feel or think, once you actually express it and express it continuously and other people's feedback and observe their expressions and everything and their thoughts and everything, it's been really, like I said, cathartic for me. And also even a lot of things I kind of had structured in my mind, I really didn't have ordered correctly, or I didn't have the same kind of order that I have once I've actually started expressing them. And so it's just been really helpful to be able to talk these things out, and even stuff that I might not have thought about but didn't really know about a lot about. I've been able to talk through it, and they say that you remember 90% of the things that you teach. So a lot of stuff that I've been talking about, it's helped me to kind of like I said, just order it in my mind, and cognitively. So it's been a really good journey, and I'm very, like to Jessica's point, I'm very thankful for the platform that you put forth for us, Erica. You've been amazing in terms of a hostess. You've been, very diligent with your job. You've been on top of us. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes you be like, I know sometimes you be going through it, because I know it. Being a business owner, being a content creator, it is tough. I know it. I've been feeling your pain. It is very difficult, but you've done it like a champ. You've taken stuff on the chin. When you've made certain mistakes, you still move forward. You've had triumph. So I think we're all very thankful. And you always know the measure of a thing or a movement is based on the leadership. And you have been a great leader in this regard. So we're very thankful for you.
Thank you so much. It's been hard, because there are times when last week, I am learning as I go as well, and the timestamp didn't match the editing software timestamp. So we had 20 people live and lights out, and I'm like, I should have checked that. There have been so many more instances, but the camaraderie.
Growing pains.
Yeah, growing pains, and the camaraderie is what I care about the most. I care about coming to the table and having real conversations, so we can not only share this dialogue amongst each other, but forward it out to our community. There are some people who just don't like to speak publicly, and then there are some people who don't know the questions to ask, or they probably just don't have a circle of friends to talk to and have raw, honest conversations. So, I wanted to do something amongst my peers, people who are knowledgeable. I've been watching Lewis for so long. There were even moments where I was going through things in my marriage, and it was so ironic, he'd come up with a video just on my timeline, and I'm like, how did that match what I'm going through right now? So I knew I had to make the call. I said, you know what, this is it. And I've been wanting to work with Lewis for so long. He's so humble, and anytime I just need to talk to him, he's just a great listener, and so knowledgeable. And Ben,
Dr. Ben.
Ben is like the rock.
You're gonna make me blush.
Honestly, I have days where I am ready to punch somebody in the mouth. I'm so angry, and mostly at myself, because I have to read so much, and when you're putting something together online for listeners and a web series online for viewers, and you're trying to keep your team together, keep them interested and motivated, as well as the viewership and questions, and how do I build and creating and producing episodes, it's a lot. And then you have to think about marketing and social media marketing, and just so many layers, and I didn't know what I was signing up for. So I'm so grateful that everyone has been patient with me. And again, Ben, you've been a force. Thank you. Jolon goes without saying. Whew, she listens to it all. And if I need her to come over, or we need to go out to eat, she's like, what time? Where are we going? Okay, bye.
All right, I'll be there.
Lashana, thank you so much, because you coming in this thing, you are our resident expert. Funny, when I need to try some things, I know where to go, I know who to call.
Ghostbusters?
Right?
No, Lashana.
Lashana ride or die. Me and Tony have been knowing each other for 20 years, no, 25 years. since we were kids. I was 30.
We go way back.
Wow. He knows some things that's in the skeleton closet. Tony would just like literally snatch me up and like, what are you kidding me right now? Did you rush to say this? Like, this is what you need to do. I'm elaborate right now in detail. I know a lot of people in the last couple of weeks as well have told me that I don't answer a lot of the questions. They want to hear me speak more, where I try to moderate and let everyone else talk. So I'll be better at speaking. But yeah, Tony said, you know what? I think you need to, definitely build something and talk about this, because we would have these deep conversations. I mean, deep, and we would get like psychology deep. Like, why do you think
conversations?
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? We should be sharing this. Like, and when Jolon and I started having these tearjerker conversations, like, I said, this has to be shared. Like, Ben was, definitely a strength in my life for everything he's endured, and all of you guys. So I'm here for it all. And I know it's going to kick me as we grow. I'm going to get beat up and, I'm going to, have more growing pains. But I appreciate you guys. Yeah, you guys bear with me for it all. Yeah. So thank you. We'll move over to a fun part. We've only got a couple questions left. We'll keep our answers short. Whether or not you were a viewer in the past, because I know we have 3 new panelists. What is the highlight of season 2 for you? I want to start with Lewis on this one. The highlight of season 2.
The highlight of season 2.
Yes. So episodes 11 through 22. Highlight of the season. You think back to the days we had Kate, and we talked about Cuddy Buddies. We talked about dating purgatory. Me and Jolon beat y'all up and disrespected respectfully.
That was okay.
I don't know what all that. Slow down now. Pump your brakes.
Highlight of the season for you.
I think the highlight for me is when we talked about game, because that went into so many different realms of relationship. And it kind of almost umbrellas and covers a lot of issues that we have. Men run game, women run game. There's some good game, there's bad game, and the whole point is to get together, or whether if it's sexually, whether it's for selfish reasons, for getting in a relationship, or to conquer. I think that umbrella for me was a good conversation, because it was real, that relationship, why men, why women, and where the games come from. And it's not all bad, because, a lot of women like a man who got a little swag, a little game. And you know what I mean? So for a male, he has to come with his best game. So we dove into that, which was pretty cool. So I liked it, because I'm big on relationships, and hey, it is what it is. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that one.
Dope. Lashana, highlight of season 2 for you. I know that you came on and you have viewed quite a few episodes.
I would actually have to say the first sexology one that I was on, which was like sexology part episode 2. When I was talking about the lifestyle, and you guys, your facial expressions were like hilarious to me.
I hilarious
to me. And then one of the quotes that Ben said, he was like, she's like a free feature, and then you access her, you get all these other free stuff once you get it. So I was just like, oh, okay. So your guys' facial expressions whenever I started talking about the lifestyle was hilarious. And then like and some of you guys look like, what you talking about, Willis? Like, what is this? That was the look on some of you guys' face. So but yes, and then one of the other episodes that I did watch was Disrespect Me Respectfully. I did watch that one. I was like, oh, okay, because I had to kind of get a feel of what I was going into, so I watched it, and I was like, okay, all right, now I know how I gotta come with the A game, but yeah, I'm sorry, but they did beat y'all up respectfully. Okay,
thank you, Lashana, for coming on and telling
who beat who what?
The girls. I'm sorry, the women, the men of. disrespectfully.
I disagree respectfully.
Okay.
I disagree respectfully.
I disagree.
Right.
Because
I disagree respectfully.
Still got y'all.
I'm just saying, and then there was certain points where we just had to agree to disagree because there were certain things that I was like didn't bother me at all because that's me. And then there were certain things I was like, nah, they need to let up because this is too much. But I understand where you guys.
I know you go. I know you're gonna come. I know the estrogen gonna come. Y'all gonna come together. Y'all gonna support each other. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's a little difference with me.
It's
Like
like his game
with women. Yeah, with women like I don't necessarily go with the flow of everybody else. You should know that. Like everybody.
Thank you, Lashana. What about you, Ben? Highlight of the season.
Wow. Man, it's been a lot. So my favorite joke of the season is definitely Lotion a Divot. That right there. So I thought about that. Lotion a Divot. Yo, that joke, like I couldn't stop laughing like every
why is your face
couple of hours I was just laughing. I was laughing.
That is the joke of the entire series.
That was
one
the
and
joke
two.
right there. Like that. Yo, I almost fell out my chair on that one. So that was my favorite joke. My favorite episode is kind of hard. It's 3 episodes I really like, lineage and stuff like that, only because I love talking about the topics. You know what I'm saying? It might not have been like one of the more exciting ones in general, but just like I like those topics, and so that was I just love talking about those types of things, just because I don't get to do it a lot as much anymore. But just in terms of like in general, definitely like the whole sexology series has been good. Like when Sean came on and she just came with her professorialship, it really kind of took us to another level. Also like
yeah, what was that word?
She's
I also like
tenure.
I like the game one.
Wait.
Professorial.
Can you repeat that word?
Professorialship, like relating to a professor. Relating to being a professor. Yeah, professorialship.
Tenured professor.
Yeah, so right, tenured. So that one, I did like the game one, especially like my favorite joke that I told was probably the Yoni joke in that episode when we was in the clouds and stuff like that.
Right.
Wait, Ben, where is the Yoni, by the way?
Yeah, I had to switch it up to like another background. Now I had to, you know what I'm saying?
We
Yeah, so
Yoni in a minute. Okay.
Clouds, that was like perfect. The way you were
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
y'all go watch that episode.
I'm gonna leave that.
Y'all go watch that episode. We're talking about as far as
I'm trying to.
clouds. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So yeah, that one. But yeah, and honestly, man, just everybody coming on. Like I've enjoyed, just everybody really. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been an amazing experience. So I'm just really thankful for it. So yeah.
Absolutely. Moving on down to Tony, we have been like laughing at all of your banter and your jokes, and you brought so much light.
Yes.
What would you say the highlight of the season has been for you?
Me.
Yeah.
I'm the highlight.
Highlight.
I'm the Miller High Life here. Definitely being on here, learning from the tenured professor over there. That was that opened my eyes a little wider to some of the stuff I knew was out there, and just listening to you guys now, the therapeutic effect this has had on each and every one of you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It allows you to grow personally, and the fact that you guys have such a strong relationship off the show. That is absolutely beautiful to me, because if you can get along off camera, off mic, and get along on camera, on mic, then that tells me you guys have really, really got something here. It's special. So just all in all, this is a beautiful thing, and I'm gonna keep jacking everybody up every chance I get.
Oh yeah.
Just these hands.
Right.
That's fine. I catch him.
With that smile though.
Right. Yeah.
That's the telltale sign when something's up. When I smile, something's coming.
Early white.
What are some of the most critical changes that we must make in love and romance to face the future effectively? And if we can keep our answers short.
For me, it's emotional literacy. You know, knowing like really what you're feeling and being able to express those things, knowing what you want. And for me personally, it's just like I always talk about those 4 elements: the spiritual, mental, emotional, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. You know, being my best self in all 4 of those regards, and also being with someone who is enhancing me in those 4 areas, as well as me enhancing her.
I agree with Ben. Like you definitely have to know yourself. You definitely have to be able to answer what you like and what you don't like, and understand that those things can change. And I think some people kind of forget that, like, oh, you know, I used to like this thing, and it's like, well, that was 20 years ago. You're not that same person anymore. And so with growth, you're going to learn different things. You're going to find different things. You're going to, you know, stop liking certain things, and then, you know, start liking different things in different stages of your life. So you just have to remember that when you're growing, things are going to change. And, you know, knowing yourself well enough to embracing those changes, and then being able to express those things to, you know, a partner, a friend, a parent, definitely help in your friendships and your relationships, even outside of like romance.
And Jessica, I'm so sorry I did not ask you what the highlight of the season was for you.
Ben.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also,
it's funny because
I am. Wow, thank you, Jessica. I mean, I'm really surprised and honored.
Why are
Wait a
you
minute, hold on, wait,
surprised?
go ahead, yeah. Go ahead. Let me before I say, go ahead.
It was a pleasure meeting you at the cabin. We had a very, very deep conversation.
After you had a stranger danger moment?
Yeah, almost. He did kind of freak me out when he first came up. I ain't gonna lie, but but we did have
and we disagree about what really happened, but that's something. We disagree about what actually happened at first moment. So yeah, go ahead.
Can I speak, please? Thank you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're right. You got it.
Reclaiming your time. Reclaiming my time.
I will take it back. But we did have several deep conversations, and it was actually really nice because we had never met. I didn't know you existed in this world before then, and it was nice talking to somebody and being open and honest. You were very honest and open with me, and I really did appreciate that. And I'm glad that we get to continue learning more about each other, because I find you very interesting, and your point of view is very interesting. And yeah, good luck with that.
Honestly, like seriously, like all jokes aside, like all jokes aside, let me push all the jokes aside. All the jokes aside. Like I'm really honestly honored that you said that. Like I would not have thought that, you know, because we, as much as banter we had, we got into it. We also had great moments.
We did. It wasn't all peaceful and you know, like really
it was
deep
not
conversations.
kumbaya all the
It was
time.
a lot of, we butt heads a lot, and I think that's part of the reason why I do appreciate you so much, because we did butt heads, and we were able to express our opinions, even though they were different, very different in certain things, but we still were able to come back and understand that we are two different people that feel two different ways about certain things, but I still respect you, and I still acknowledge you as a person, a good person. So yeah.
And I learned something from that too, because I'm quick to like blow a fuse, and you guys had the best like attitudes. Y'all will get into it in 5 minutes later. Okay, so who's pouring shots?
Next,
Okay.
Dancing now, and
we had a good time. So again, episode 15. Lewis, moving over to you. What are some critical changes that we must make in love and romance to be the future?
I'll kind of keep it short. I'll kind of pivot a little bit, but I'll keep it short. We talked about this kind of before, and I think probably 2 episodes ago, when I really started studying emotional safety, or emotional, what we call the safety net that we should have for the other person. We have to create that. I think from that stems honesty, trust, being believable, someone acknowledging their trauma, You know, if they don't feel like they're safe in your presence or in what you provide, they will not talk to you. They will not let you know, or will not let you in. And I think with that comes growth, because without that emotional safety, a woman, if she don't feel safe around her man, and that's one of the key things, quote unquote, what women want is that safety net to be able to come to her man and just fall on him and hope he understands what she's feeling. If she does that with someone else, it's a problem. Because if, as a man, if you have not created that for your family, it will crumble fast. And you'll see, you know, not just, you know, your wife or your significant other, but your kids will go too. So for me, I really started studying emotional safety, because I think that's important in this day and age with mental health, and people need to uncover, people don't go to therapy, and we know they should, but if they don't, they still need a place where maybe they can get that little inkling of trust within the person that they're with to let them know what's bothering them and what causes them to do certain things. But without it, I think it's hard to grow. It's hard to grow as a couple in any relationship. And we saw that, in the pandemic, where now you're struggling with something, but you can't talk to the man that you've been with practically, half your life, and you got kids with him. Now you're looking at him like, do I really want to talk to him? Or rethinking that whole relationship, because they have not created the emotional safety. And it goes both ways. It helps a deeper understanding of each other within a relationship. And we all know as men, we feel what we think. And women, you think you feel that everything's about feelings. So we have to create that balance within each other so that we can create some type of understanding between the both of us. And that's love. Love is a clashing of misunderstandings that finally come together because they understand.
Here you go.
Jolon. Gems.
Sorry.
Like you just gotta sit and ponder.
Yeah. Like diamonds just hitting you in the head, like boom, ruby, pearls. Oh my eyes. My goodness. Sapphires. I'm stepping on sapphires. What's happening? Under my foot.
Lashana.
I think for me, like critical changes that I would make, for love and romance for my future would be definitely wanting to be with someone that, and I guess emotional is something that's like a big theme for all of us, is someone that can understand me and love me for who I am, whether at this moment in time I'm upset, I'm irate, but you know why, you understand me enough, where I can just be vulnerable, I can just completely be myself, and that's just me being transparent. I see you, I only see you, you only see me. I am very transparent. You can see me, and like I said, I can see you. I can look in your eyes, and I can tell that we're here for one another. I'm here for you. You're here for me. And like I said, and just being transparent, and I mean transparent in the most vulnerable type of way, and that this person's not going to use it against you, and just know that, in my heart of hearts, when things go left, I know I can call you and you understand me, to the point where, I mean, even for me, I've been in a relationship where my significant other is having a bad day at work. I feel that, because that's how emotionally connected I am to that person. And because I feel that, I know I can call him and was like, hey, what's going on with you? I feel like what's going on? I can feel you're having a bad day. And he was just like, how you know? Just know that I know. This is how emotionally connected I am to you. So what's going on? Let's talk it through. So, because when you're connected with someone like that, they also kind of help shift how you feel throughout the day and things of that nature. So, if your significant other is okay, then you're going to be okay. And if they're not okay, you're not okay. So you want to make sure that they are, there, and they're very much so in tune with who you are, what you want, what you need, and they understand you 110%, and there's nothing else about it. So,
yes. Facts.
Yes.
Y'all spitting tonight.
Professor has spoken.
I love what you said about
there'll be a test
someone
on Friday.
not matching your anger when you're angry, like a man matching your feminine energy. Just because you're angry does not mean that you need to be angry with me, or if I have an idle incident, like, why do you have to make it about you? You know what I'm saying? So that was huge. And for those of you who are just watching, you're watching the Purple Mic, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you are alerted when we drop an episode.
When you get lost in the sauce, talk. Evaluate. Go back to the beginning. Why are we doing this in the first place?
There you go.
And revisit the foundation again. I feel like we cannot allow life with all its drama and all its torrents and all its, just push and pull and just ups and downs to derail you from the person that you've chosen to have in your life. And like Lashana said, even being in tune, it's knowing that yes, we may be polar opposite, but I got you. I am your rock. I am your calm. I am your peace. And that bond is like no other when you have it with that person. Because you could call your friends and talk, but you know that that's not going to satisfy that place that person has, where you have them actually in your heart and in your soul. Because I've gone through that. Like, I've had instances where I tried to call my friends and I'm going through something and no one can be found, or I talk and it's like, I heard them, but and even with your relationship with God, that void a lot of times cannot be filled by people. So, first and foremost, that relationship has to be intact, and then the person that you really have put on that in high esteem in that area of your life, that relationship needs to be nourished and taken care of. So that way you can be filled, and you can fill them. I feel like the changes that can be made are changes that you daily evaluate yourself. Like, am I being respectful today? Just the little things.
Oh yeah.
Do I need to watch my tone? How did I say that? How did this person receive this? When I'm about to say something, what frame of mind am I in? Do I need to take 5 minutes to calm down if I'm angry? Because you don't want to hurt the person that you're with. And a lot of times we don't mean to, but we also have to be, Erica's favorite word is intentional.
Yeah.
And throughout the ages, that will be her word, because she always talks about being intentional, not just being fly by night doing stuff just off of a whim, but having intentions even when you're talking to people, even when you're doing something for them. The energy that you put forth when you're talking, when you're doing something for them, they can feel that. You ever have a child, you tell them to do something and they're grabbing stuff, and you tell them to clean their room and they're just throwing stuff everywhere. You can tell the energy's off because of how they're doing. And they're just they're flustered. If they're taking their time to fold their clothes and put them neatly and calmly, you could feel that energy too. So that goes with the person you're with, and being cognizant of how you're reacting to certain things. And that place
Great pronunciation on cognizant.
Huh?
Excellent pronunciation on the word cognizant. That was great pronunciation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that all you got? Is that all you heard?
That's the linguist.
I just heard. It's the linguist. Exactly. It's the linguist. I heard that just like cognizant.
And it's like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
No, you were right, LaShawn. Like,
that is funny.
All in all, being intentional.
Yeah.
To sum it all up.
Yeah, absolutely.
My uncle used to tell me when I lived in Georgia, he said, when you find a woman that's doing better than you. He said, because as a man, that should make you strive to get to where she is. So I've always taken that to heart, and I realized most of the women that I've dated were like that. They were doing better than me, and it caused me to step my game up, because as a man, quietly, our ego hurts if our woman is doing better than us a little bit. Our ego hurts just a smidge.
Beautiful. Thank you for that wisdom. So, guys, in conclusion, if there is one question in your minds that you would like to ask a co-panelist? Tonight is the night.
Are pants optional? You never answered that.
Yes, we did.
You never answered that. You danced around it, but you never answered it.
Yes, but that was the number 2 joke because he's been asking that since
the whole time. I know.
I
sent you a pair of pants with the emoji.
She did. She said she did send you a pair of pants.
I did.
That's not answering the question. That's not a yes or no.
Well, I gave you.
Are pants optional?
She gave you a pair of
pants. You know what?
Yeah.
In the pandemic and on Zoom and all these streaming sites, yeah, pants are optional because we don't know what's going on down there.
Yeah, we don't know.
Does not need.
Then not the adjustment. I did see the adjessment there.
Yeah, right. We call that.
Right.
Oh, busted you out on cam.
Yep.
We'll have to include some of our offline footage because when the camera goes off, we just green screen start popping up and wine bottles start popping.
Right.
We gotta.
And you know what, Erica, you skated by another question though too. The last question would be a good question for you to answer. How about that? How about you answer that question before we move on to the next one?
So, what are the most critical changes that we must make in love and romance to face the future effectively? I would say personally, getting out of our own way. There are so many times where I spend so much time in my head and carrying all this baggage from the past. And the term that I hate the most is what if. I am so big on what if mentally. I never say it because I don't want to manifest it, but it's up here. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes if I would just get out of my way, I could be fearless. And for those who know me, know that I'm a scary person. I don't like to do this. I don't like to do it because I'm always overthinking. We just went to the fair, Jessica, and Jessica's like, you ain't right enough. But yeah, no, I'm always in my way. And if I could just get out of my way and stop with the what ifs, I think life would offer so much more. We go through things and love is always a risk, but it can have such a beautiful outcome. So I think that would be one of the most critical changes for me. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, back to this other question. What question would you like to hear your co-panelists answer? You can ask them anything. Lashana. I got some questions for you.
Oh, she got the phone out. All right.
I was like phone out because you guys want to ask me questions. So I definitely had to pull up my manual. So that way, if you guys ask me any of those questions, I would effectively be able to answer those questions.
Oh, she has a manual ready.
With the correct terminology.
That's the professor.
Still stuck on Tony's question though.
Okay.
What? Valid question.
I have a question for Jessica. Now that you're getting older, are you going to be dating soon? Or are you going to be married soon? Like in your lifetime? I know I put you on the spot.
She said, "Now that you're getting older."
Look, that's the part that got me.
That's the part that got me.
Now I'm desperate. So
no, you're not desperate. You're getting older.
I thought about that when I turned 34 a couple Fridays ago. I thought about it. I don't know. I'm very comfortable where I am in my life right now. For me to start dating, I would have to meet somebody that just like blows me like completely off of my feet because I'm doing the things that I want to do. I'm traveling. I'm experiencing a whole different side of myself without being in a relationship. So I'm living a good life. And so if you got to come and enhance that good life with more than just, I'm a good looking dude and I make 6 figures and all of those things and right and the shimmy and I can dance.
That's what the Puff Daddy move, right?
Oh yeah.
He did he.
I've always been open to dating. I've always been comfortable being single as well. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can turn it around and ask you the same thing now that you're getting older.
All right. I mean, my dream,
Good for the gift.
not my dream, but
Your drink? What? Your drink?
I said my dream.
You drink. I'm gonna tell
Not
my mom.
necessarily my dream, because I feel like I'm a whole person. I'm a mom. I have a career. You know, I've accomplished a lot of things in my life that I'm proud of. Some I'm not proud of, but you know, that comes with living. I would like to be married. I would like to go through life with a partner, to experience new things and experience just things that I can't experience by myself, because I can travel by myself. I can, you know, buy a house by myself. I could do all those things, but I think that the journey would be a little bit sweeter if I had someone that I could really connect with and go along on that ride called life with me. So yes, that is something that I do see myself, you know, desiring, and God one day will fulfill that desire for me with the right person.
Absolutely. Manifesting.
That's right. Anybody else? Before you wrap up? Going once, going twice?
So
good.
So, Erica, where do you see Purple Mike in the next?
I was going to get to that. Yeah. So, season 3, we are bringing on guests. We're going to switch this thing up a lot. You guys have had the chance to get to know all of us for 22 episodes, 2 seasons. Purple Mike will be 1 year old on January 9th. So we're approaching a year. But this season, we're definitely bringing on guests. And I want to do that so that we can kind of get out of our own circle and chime in with couples and kind of hear what their experiences have been, how they deal with trauma, how they deal with conflict. Ben and I have discussed actually touring events. So we're looking at marketing and getting with restaurants and even traveling abroad to speak and engage with youth, couples, entertainment venues. So we're looking into that. We just uploaded all 21 episodes to Spotify. So we will be on Apple Music and Spotify as well. Gosh, there's so many things that I dream of. When you say 5 to 10 years, I would like to impact people on a level where it's like, you guys help me. You know, it's not about looking at the numbers at the end of the night, like, oh my God, we have this many viewers or we have this many subscribers, but you know, you guys help me. And I remember back in season 1, I had a dear friend who was actually going through a transition with his job, and he moved to a different county, and his wife, I guess they were getting ready to split, and he called me and he said, do you know your Jeopardy episode helped our marriage? And I'm like, how? We were just playing a game that night. So we went into this long conversation of how it helped his marriage, and they're still together today. So I'm like, I've already touched a life, you know, and that is miraculous, you know, to know that together with all of you guys, you know, because I couldn't do this alone. Many people have asked me, like, you didn't want to do it alone? I'm like, no, you know, I don't want to be biased. I want men and women. And our tagline is real conversations about what men and women want. So to get back to the original question, yeah, definitely spreading our wings so that, you know, every season you come back, we're growing, we're expanding, we're doing something different, more trips, more laughter, more fun, but also getting out of this streaming platform too, and actually, you know, doing more together to where we can build camaraderie. So to be continued. And I promise you guys, next season will be just as much fun as this season. I look back at season 1 and I kind of see a lot of the hiccups. It was, you know, we were all just trying to get to know each other and break that ice. And season 2, we got racier, we got edgier, we got new panelists, and our family is bigger. And season 3, there's more to come. So just stay tuned. And I appreciate all of you at home for watching. I have so many viewers who come back every Thursday night live, and for all of you guys who have texted me and DM me and, you know, wanted to share the love with, you know, the crew, like, thank you so much for encouraging us and staying loyal to us. I know everything is not popular in the beginning, what's popular is what people sign on for. So thank you for rocking out with us. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys.
So thank you so much for watching. That will conclude the night. I appreciate everyone's time. If you have not already, you guys know what I'm going to say. Subscribe and hit the like button. Please comment below.
It is free to subscribe.
It's free
to
subscribe.
Anything.
Yes. Subscribe, like, share, all of that.
Share. Yes. That's
Go listen to some Lou Rawls while you're subscribing. Go listen to a little Lou Rawls. Put you in the mood to subscribe.
Another thing.
Thank you for being my friend.
I don't think we can play that. We'll get flagged.
Copyright infringement.
Yeah, so we gotta turn it off.
Copyright infringement.
I'm gonna get demonetized.
Can't play any music. But one thing that I want to say before we go, one thing you guys can look forward to is a reunion. I'm going to try and get all of the original cast back. I don't know if they'll say yes or no, but you guys look out for that in season 3 as well. So again, subscribe, like, share. Jessica, Lashana, Lewis, Tony, Jolon, Benjamin, Dr. Benjamin Moore. Thank you for an incredible season. We will see you guys back next week. We are live every Monday on Twitch and Facebook at 8:30 p.m. Sometimes they come on at 9:30. We'll let you guys know. And always Thursday nights, 9 p.m. sharp on YouTube. Thank you for a great season, guys, and thanks for watching. Good night.
Bye. We'll holler.
This story.
Later.
What happened was. Oh, no, here we go.
If you had to hire a private investigator, this is why you're single. Are we allowed to say words? Is there someone like gonna? Yes. Is there someone like gonna like bleep me? Is there a bleeper like on alert?
Speak your truth, Kate.
You know, like people want to like fuck around. I'm not very good at that. Like I fuck that shit up.
You know, matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the universe is one huge yoni. Like we're all in, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just, I mean, that's how amazing. I'm just saying, that's how amazing. I mean, y'all don't understand. Y'all got one, so y'all been with it all y'all life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, as a man who was not born with one and who feels such joy when I can make one so pleased and pleasure one and feel such more like a man. It's just such an amazing invention of the universe. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you're
So I just
talking
wanted
about the universe and the clouds are just streaming.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't understand. Like, y'all don't see that all that yoni back there? Look at this. This is where I am. This is where I'm in the yoni right now. Like, y'all don't see this?
Oh my god! Yeah, that's exactly how you be.
Was
You
that
just
a silver bullet you just pulled out? That looked like a silver bullet. You old schooling over there while you on the show?
I mean, I just grabbed what was near me, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, that side profile looked like that was a silver bullet. I'm about to say, man.
You go to a therapy because of this thing. We 53 minutes in. Hold on. If it's a black church, we gotta stay on for about another 2 or 3 hours. You know, your black churches don't get out. Black churches don't get out this room. You know?
I'll be there all day.
Loving Lewis.
What's your actual spot then, Jess? Since that we know what's not. What's your actual?
My ankle.
What?
Little spot. That little divot right there in your ankle.
Really? Oh, so do you want him to have them legs up, but okay, I see, yeah, got you.
And he kind of moving a little lower.
Right.
Let me go lotion my divot.
I make sure my feet always my feet because
I gotta make sure it's right.
And that's a technical term.
Yeah, let me lotion.
That's what the podiatrists call it.
That is hilarious. Let me go lotion my divot.
Yeah.
It's 1, 2, 3. Manifest.